Good morning. Talk about awkward from yesterday, right? When I stopped recording, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's so funny because that was kind of what I was trying to express about this, how this energy is still it's kind of awkward in how it's like making things happen, but you kind of just need to go with it. And all these things, even like, letting things go and not being so much of a perfectionist or needing everything to be so right or whatever, but all the kind of things like that where we do stop ourselves when we do awkward things. Ultimately, doing awkward things tends to open our hearts anyway, in seeing that like we all make mistakes, we're all learning, we're all doing our best. But that's what a lot of this energy is about. It's trying to show you that, yes, you can look back in your past and see that you would never do those things again. You can look back and look with wonderment at how you could have chosen for those things or done those things or allowed those things to remain for so long. But your end, really, it's not even a but, you're to take that while you also at this time see how you couldn't have gotten to who you are now without every single morsel of those learning journeys. You could not be here now. And the thing is because what we were talking about yesterday about people, how we're being led by the mind by others. Because of that, we've allowed ourselves to this is part of, yesterday we talked a little bit about this too. So it came in before I could actually handle it. But a part of what's changing with us is that our screens are being wiped clean. I talked about this yesterday, but it's where our minds in certain ways won't understand things anymore. Like how that could even be. It's almost like it's going to be so much that you don't understand it to the point that you just move on. Let's just not talk about this anymore. Like, even like I was also just then shown political images and all these things that are getting us to talk about it and getting us to stay led by our mind and consumed into it. But ultimately, we are to allow our minds to be led by our hearts. And then when we see that kind of stuff, our screens just go blank because we are just supposed to leave. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. I'm out of here. Like that's kind of the mode we are to take. So expect that to happen a lot. And again, just roll with it. It's going to be different in how you start to operate. Oh, and you can also start to have pains, especially like in your neck, our head pain, pressure pain in the head, definitely like neck and up. But this is really relating to a lot of the changes that are going on in getting your brain to allow yourself to stop being a junkie. Because the thing is, just like the 40-day fast, you can think about doing it and you can think about all these things around it, but you still have to walk all these days through it. You still have to be the one who's like, okay, I'm going to commit to not filling my belly. I'm going to commit to going in this other direction for a while and expanding my life in these other ways. But the thing is then your mind's going to be like, oh, pizza. Oh, burrito. Oh my gosh, potato chips. And then, we're going to see then how strong your gut is or your mind is. And that's really what this energy is right now. And that's where We can't just say that everyone's just going to instantly awaken from this point, but majority are. I kind of feel like things are going to be too undeniable, and it's going to be too hard not to open to the heart and to really get back into this feeling space and get back into this human space. Because like I said, that mental one that I know that's hooked into people with money, it's soda that has no fuzz. And just as you know how it's no fun to drink that, imagine what it's like to live that. And imagine if that's what becomes even more of a money addiction, thinking that some other purchase will eventually fill in and give that fizz, because it's flat. It's flat. I can even like almost taste it. But and that's what's happening to people. So also too, being younger and being more aware and being more awake, you guys too are like, I don't want to be flat. I don't want to, what can I do to not be flat? I want that fizzle. I want to be excited with all these things in life. I want to be excited going for things and being like, I want to wake up and what am I going to go do today that's going to make a difference? And what am I going to go do today that's really living and being out there and enjoying my life and taking care of things? What do I need to do? So these are going to be exciting times, especially, I don't know, but it feels like especially shifting about right now. But do realize too that this is, okay, so going back, so when you, back to the belly, so when you're feeding your belly, you're then, when you're our belly and heart, I'm kind of putting together in this because we pulled it into fasting. But when you're living from your heart, and listening to your belly, because when you're not giving it food, you hear your belly. When you're giving it food, you don't. You hear your mind telling you pizza, burritos, potato chips, hamburger, meat, cheese. But when you empty your belly, and you hear your intuition, and then you hook up to your mind in different ways. But that's what happens when you live from your heart. Your heart feeds your mind instead of the media and other people and all these old ancient ideologies and all these things. But without having that to lead you, when you wake up, your heart leads you. And the thing about this time that's really special is that when your heart starts leading you, you definitely start having wilder dreams. You definitely start saying, oh my gosh, I want to buy that $450,000 house that has a lake on the property. Like, oh my God. And then that. Oh my God, I totally want to buy that. And certainly we cannot just hold those images and then sit back and watch TV and eat popcorn and meat and cheese, and see that kind of stuff. And see that kind of stuff just manifest. But the energy is saying that still, and that's why people can like discount it, and they can discount you dreaming and discount you having these kind of visions of what you would really like to do and what you would really like to have. And then when people discount it, then you don't put stock in it. And, stock is everything, right? At least in this, mental world that we've been conditioned into. But ultimately, we do need to put stock into holding those visions and like really being like, oh my gosh, I don't know how it could happen, but like I see this happening, and I believe that every day I'm getting closer to it, and all these decisions and all these things I'm learning, I just feel like someday I'm going to have that in my future. Giving that love with your thoughts and like really giving it this space to become something is really, really important. I mean, otherwise you guys are filling up your space with worrying and fears and anger and being so mad. People aren't being direct enough in getting to an answer, and creating festering energies and competitive energies and jealous energies, and ultimately all this kind of wounded stuff that's all locked up in you. And, none of your joints are like lubricated. So they're like, like that awkward, like yesterday with the moving the heavy furniture and how it can like make these quick, loud lurches when you finally move it. But like these things in you are kind of like this too. And, just realize that where you're stopping yourself from dreaming, you have to stop that. Yeah. Like you have to stop that. You have to really still believe that there's this beautiful thing that's going to unfold, and we don't need to know the answers. The most important thing is that you are just facing and going into what has wounded you, but you're not making it all about, but how am I going to figure this out? But how can that be done? But no one's done it before. But look at everybody else and they're suffering. How can I do something amazing when they're all suffering? I do want to just interject there and tell you, because I just saw this other thing here, but I did want to tell you, and I've always told you this, but when we had that recession, whenever it was, I don't remember, it was years ago, but that was when I started my business, and that was when I just thrived. That was when it was like it was really good for me in the world, like beyond anything I could have imagined. And I remember just always, and I also had talked about how the area that I lived in, like nobody talked about recession at all. And then I wasn't on the news. So we're all just going along on our day and just living life like normal and thriving. I remember all businesses could not find enough people to work. It was so hard to get good workers who would actually show up and work. We were like wanting to recruit them from other states and stuff, like bring us workers. But ultimately it was just like this collective whatever kind of thing was just like created around whatever I was walking, and then my friends were walking, and everybody I was attracting was in the same way. And the only thing I heard and knew was abundance abounds. And that's the only thing I saw. So understand too that with this magical energy that's saying dream, talk it, believe it. Don't let other people, no matter how grotesque and ugly things become, like don't let that taint what you still know you want to do. And it's just important right now that you're really believing that, a path that you can change, that paths can change, that change is good, that, it's time to like evolve and go to these new levels and really kind of making it like poetic in the song that you sing, really making it, I feel just such a beautiful energy as I'm in this right now. I'm almost kind of like floating on clouds is what, I hope I don't like die on this day. I'm like, wait, is this heaven? Did you just like merge me into, actually now by the end of this day, I die. No, that's not funny. I've got all these big plans. I could probably do a lot of good work from the other side, though. So we'll just embrace how this goes. We'll see how tomorrow's reading goes. You guys will all have to wait until tomorrow to see if a reading comes. Okay. Oh my gosh. But this energy, I'm even like giggling and giddy because this energy is so much like that. It really is like things are beautiful. They can be beautiful if you see the beauty, if you write the poetry in it, if you engage in life in this positive kind of way and kind of seeing that it is all coming together and we're creating a beautiful world, you're going to see the most beautiful things that you've ever seen. I can say one of the most enjoyable experiences I've gotten in life is going to the farmer's market and connecting with people who are really in my community and the people who grew this and seeing all of them in this compressed space. Like, that's something that has always so shifted me, and I love doing it. Oh my gosh, we're going to have to come to another sharp ending because I'm getting towards that 15 minutes again. But I'll be back tomorrow, maybe. But I love you. And we will talk again soon, okay? Okay. Bye.